It will be worth it. You know what? You either grind at life or life grinds at you. Welcome back, YouTube. Today we got a little push day, very chest focused. Little bit of shoulders, very little bit of shoulders, and then a little bit of triceps, but a lot of chest work, which is good because I feel like my chest is still lacking a little bit. Just some heavy cable incline flies, trying to really prioritize the chest, prioritize the upper chest especially. This just takes a while to get warmed up and feeling good, mentally and physically. We'll go a little lighter for this last set. We're about 24 and a half, maybe 25 weeks out right now. So we got a good ways to go, a couple more weeks, kind of in this like mild bulk kind of recomp cycle before we start kind of cutting down some calories slowly over time. We'll have a little bit of a diet break in between, so it won't be just cutting for like, you know, several months, but we're prepared for whatever it requires. So should get pretty interesting. Hardest part mentally is just going to be the strength kind of going away a little bit, but we'll try to maintain that as long as we can. Ooh, that felt good. Probably the best set with this movement I've ever had. Weight-wise, rep-wise, sensation-wise, everything just kind of in balance. So encouraging. Got to get this chest to grow a little bit more and just pop a little bit more. Not be so front delt dominant. So third set, usually shooting for like 12 to 15 repetitions here. So might end up being a drop down set, we'll see. I'd like to be able to hit 12 repetitions with this. If we can hit 15, that'd be great. If we hit 15, then we won't drop, but if we get anything below 12, we'll drop the 25s and just keep going. Yeah, we'll drop. Okay, so chest press machine here. Again, I said it's kind of every time, but the idea really and the benefit is high force, low stability requirement, so we can just focus on firing the muscles without having to stabilize. Trying to pause, trying to maintain tempo. Really just trying to make sure that I'm kind of keeping the chest up and elevated so I can really retract those shoulders back, get a most lengthened chest position, and then kind of just drive the elbows together with the kind of converging nature of the machine. Okay, so we'll move on to some dips now, kind of wrap up some chest work, and then get into some shoulder stuff. So using the belt situation just to kind of lock us into this machine because we're facing outward, so we don't have the, the knee support that's going to keep our seat butt connection. But yeah, just allowing myself to kind of lean forward more and then take advantage of this kind of outward angle as it kind of comes up, forcing the elbow back a little bit more, loading the chest a little bit more, as opposed to whenever I turn around, I have to really consciously lean forward a lot, and just feels a little different. This is just honestly a lot easier to load the chest in this reverse position. So you don't have to make it super complicated, you don't have to make it super hard, just target the right muscle. Okay, we'll get some shoulder medial delts, some lateral raises, triceps, and then probably call it there. A lot of triceps though. What we are focusing on here with the medial raise is starting off kind of an isometric, just holding, getting the sensation, kind of mind to muscle connection kind of preloaded, and then just going into slow, steady kind of contractions where we're focusing on creating as much width as the entire time. So I'm essentially trying to think about like protracting my shoulders, meaning I'm kind of like pulling my shoulder out of socket essentially, and then trying to maintain that level of kind of instability with the shoulder, which just means that that medial delt needs to do all the stability, because if we think about keeping like our shoulder packed, like a, you know, kind of like a shrugging motion, keeping that joint really tight, when you go through range of motion, you're really stiff, you don't really have anything to do, not much muscle activation is going to come there. So thinking about trying to like draw my shoulder out as much as possible and really reach and create as much width as possible through that lateral raise motion, especially crucial with rear delts. I find they're just harder for a lot of people to kind of connect to. And so when you think about that rear delt motion, the same concept of trying to like really reach that shoulder across and draw it out as wide as possible. So when you get in that finished position, you're actually reaching even further, really trying to like, almost like you're being pulled apart. So I find it just keeps tension and that mind to muscle connection that much more kind of in tune. Something you probably haven't seen me do in a really long time, because I don't do them very often, is a dumbbell lateral variation, mostly just because it's a little suboptimal, but I use it mostly to just overload the top position. The reason why I don't use it as often is because it doesn't overload where your shoulders are the strongest in that bottom position. So going cables, going machines, and then just kind of finishing up with some of that top motion here. Not a bad exercise, just maybe a suboptimal exercise, but as a finisher, not bad at all. Showtime, you about to work out? Oh, that's important too. Food, caffeine. You're very tired. Why? Life. Oh, I forgot about that whole life thing. Life's hard. You've been grinding.
I have been. It will be worth it.
It will be worth it. So you know what? You either grind at life or life grinds at you. Okay, so we are gonna finish off with a little bit of triceps. We're just gonna go cross cable extensions, really get those triceps screaming, and then we'll go overhead extensions to really just kind of get that long head of that tricep to really pop. Ooh. Okay, going overhead. Ooh. I like doing overhead extensions after going like push downs or cross extensions, just because I find that they're pretty challenging to maintain good balance and stability when you're really fresh. So pre-fatiguing the triceps a lot and then going to that overhead extension. That way you're not getting so much like forward lean or a lot of core bracing or things like that, where you're feeling like you have to like really lean forward, and then it's just, the weight's so heavy, it's just constantly pulling you back. So pre-fatiguing the triceps with some cross extensions and then going overhead tends to be the best recipe for me. We will drop the weight down, hit one more set, and then be done. Well, posing practice, of course. so that is a wrap for today. Heavy push day. Well, it's all relative. It was pretty heavy for me today, but a lot of chest work, a lot of upper chest kind of emphasis with a lot of incline stuff, and then we got into some flat presses, just heavier force, before we got into some dips, shoulders, and triceps, a lot of triceps. So trying to keep the arms growing, keep them stimulated as much as possible so we don't lose them during the cut. And yeah, so key emphasis since day one has really been just overall leg size, back size, and chest, specifically upper chest. I think the arms, shoulders, everything else kind of been just, I wouldn't say on like cruise control, but not as big of an importance as some of the other stuff. But we'll see how that kind of changes as we get into kind of the next phase, maintenance phase, cutting phase, just doing what we can to strip away some fat and just maintain good X-frame ratios. So that is all for today. We'll film some posing stuff and probably post that tomorrow. We've been posing a lot on our off days, longer sessions, so just trying to capture as much of that as possible and see how we progress at the end of this whole thing. So Bo Alexander, Adapt Fitness, Dallas, Texas. Thank you for watching, liking, following, subscribing, sharing, loving, hating, all that stuff, and we will see you on the next one. Bye. Squirrel. Squirrels are crazy.